In animation, colorful rounded fabric squares converge, spiraling upward. Ability Summit.
Jenny Lay-Flurrie, Chief Accessibility Officer. Jenny has blonde hair, glasses, and is wearing a black t-shirt and a gray jacket.
Disability group. Just 20 people in that first forum, and the banner wasn't pretty. It's grown a little since. Last year, we had the pleasure of hosting over 15,000 of you at Ability. We introduced the Inclusive Tech Lab, which has since had over 4,000 visitors, and the Microsoft Adaptive Accessories, yes, a mouse. Building
a graphic of adaptive accessories,
which began with the Xbox Adaptive Controller in 2017. Today, we are proud to welcome 20,000 registered attendees from over 100 countries. We're seeing posts from New Zealand, Sweden, and the Ukraine. Thank you for spending your time with us today. At Ability Summit, we work together to raise the bar in disability inclusion and accessibility, to build, imagine, include, so everyone has the tools and resources they need to thrive. Accessibility is a fundamental right. Working together, we can create a world that's more inclusive, accessible, and equitable for everyone. There is work to be done. People with disabilities continue to face inequities. Despite increases in labor participation rates in the US, the unemployment rate is still double that for people with disabilities versus not, a trend reflected all around the world. This is part of what the World Bank calls the disability divide. At the same time, technology is entering a new era, especially with recent advancements in AI. This presents us with a historic intersection of opportunity and responsibility, which we take seriously. At Microsoft, we work to tackle this holistically across 4 areas. 1, technology, raising the bar in accessibility across software, hardware, gaming, and cloud. You will hear advancements in all of these today. 2, people, empowering disabled talent through hiring and skilling, programs like our Neurodiverse Career Connector and companies like Mentra, and learning accessibility. I'm really proud that over 1.2 million people have now taken the Microsoft Accessibility Training, which is mandatory for Microsoft employees, while always recognizing the intersectional nature of disability, especially today, International Women's Day. 3, partnership, working with customers, partners, NGOs, nonprofits, and more. Shell, Liberty Mutual, and nonprofits like Emmett Till Legacy Foundation will be speaking here. And 4, lastly, policy. We are thrilled to welcome Pete Buttigieg talking about accessible transportation, and change advocate Maria Town from the American Association of People with Disabilities. But let's go back to the top of that list. Technology. We are Microsoft after all. And get ready today for lots of new announcements. I'll start with one. Let's talk about pens. The Microsoft Pen has become an invaluable technology tool. In the last year, Microsoft Business and Classroom Pens launched new pen grip designs. Today, we're announcing the addition of 3D printed grips for the Surface Pen coming later this year. And yes, you can 3D print these or order via Shapeways, a key partner of ours. Adaptive pens are the future. But we can't talk about technology without digging into the topic of the year, AI, artificial intelligence. AI isn't new. Our AI for Accessibility program has partnered with over 120 nonprofits, startups, research institutions in 19 countries over the last 5 years. Through this program, we've learned that AI has the potential to be a game changer. Our first app, Seeing AI for the blind and low vision users, illustrated that. AI has the power to make tasks easier and quicker. So as we enter this new chapter, it's important to be very clear about our approach to AI. First, responsible AI is accessible AI. And we aim to build inclusively by focusing on 3 principles. One, build accessibly. I know that's not rocket science, but it's really important to say. Two, include data sets that represent disability. And three, innovate. Let's focus on that last one, innovate. Over the course of history, people with disabilities have been at the forefront of trying out the new. From Braille to talking books, door handles to fluorescent lights, video messaging to captioning. I'd love for you to explore the potential with me of this new chapter. Let's see it in action. Let's bring up the new Bing and use it to plan a trip
interface.
as a wheelchair user, a scenario that can take time. What are some, and we put it up, what are some of the accessible public transportation options to the DC airports? We popped it in, it's thinking, and let's see what Bing comes up with. Okay. It looks good. It's pulling up some options, and it's actually calling out where those options are from. We can also interact with it. It said there are several accessible public transport options, but we can also ask it and go a bit further. Is the bus a better mode of transport for me because of my street locations? What accessibility options are there? And it gives you a little bit more on that. It talks about Metro bus. Well, then you say, well, what if I prefer Metro bus? You can engage with it, and it will start to link you to where you need to go to request those and get forms. Let's show a different example. Can the new Bing help us to write accessible code? Donna Zarka, our tech lead, amazing tech lead here, has been flowing through some code to support one of the best known standards out there for accessibility, WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Now, I'm not going to go into pronunciation. WCAG is how I say it. But here is a simple HTML page that has a picture of Paris and a button. And yeah, we've included a few bugs. And this code now helps to solve three problems. One, alt text. Two, it's added a name attribute to the button. And three, a label to the alert dialog. These are very, very simple examples that illustrate the possibilities. And clearly we've got a lot more to learn in coming weeks and months. But I encourage you to check it out. Go to the new Bing and join the wait list. And don't hesitate at any time for this or anything else to contact the Disability Answer Desk with any questions. We are and always listening to your feedback. Now, we can't solve the disability divide alone. So in the last part here, I want to talk about partnership. We need to work together and partner with organizations, especially nonprofits. Last year, I visited the Thika School for the Blind outside Nairobi, Kenya, which has over 600 blind, low vision students, witnessing firsthand the impact of accessible technology. Irene is the person behind that visit last year. She is the founder of Enable, an organization bringing accessibility to people with disabilities in Africa.
Irene has long dark hair and is wearing a pink top.
I'm incredibly fortunate to have Irene here with us at the Ability Summit. Welcome, Irene.
Thank you, thank you.
We're so thrilled to have you here. So, Irene, tell us about Enable and the work that you're doing.
Yeah. First off, thank you so much for having me here, and it was an honor to host you in Nairobi. So at Enable, we began with a simple realization that blind students share Braille books. At the same time, Braille paper is a luxury. Then we also got to realize that as they graduate from high school, they go nowhere simply because they only have Braille skills, meaning that they're joining a world that's completely oblivious to Braille. So from that, when we saw the digital divide, we were able to come up with our assistive technology program, where we partner with schools for the blind in Kenya and establish assistive technology labs in schools for the blind. And this situation is not unique to Kenya. It cuts across different disabilities and across different countries in the continent. Thank you.
Students using computers.
So educate us a little bit. What is the status of accessibility in Africa?
Interesting question. One, accessibility is still a very new concept in Africa, but the beauty of it is that there's been a lot of investments in disability, but the digital part of it has been missing. So I have to first say thank you to my country, Kenya, because last year we developed Kenya's digital accessibility standard, which is the first country in Africa to invest in digital inclusion. And when I think about Africa as a continent, the developments and innovations are being driven by technology. And there are 55 countries in Africa. And out of 55, we have a population of roughly 1.4 billion people. This means that 15% of that population, based on the UN, are people with disabilities, meaning that it's important for the government and for private sector to invest in policies that promote digital inclusion.
Irene, I've known you a long time, and I know you have a big vision, and I saw some of that in action. I mean, I saw the power of technology in this school. There was beautiful labs filled with kids working using Windows, Office, and NVDA to do their classes and search for geography and everything that they were doing. But I know you've got a vision that goes way beyond that. What is that?
So our vision is very simple. What we want to do is make sure that every child with a disability in Africa has access to technology and assistive technology skills training. This is a simple, basic need. We want them to have just the basic, most fundamental technology in education for them to be able to thrive and succeed. So that's our main mission.
I love it. We were really proud to update those labs and get some new technology in there. But I know it's a drop in the ocean. So I know you have a conference coming up that's really going to talk more about. Go on, give a nice plug for that one.
So let me say this. We cannot do this alone. We need all the support of our partners across the world to join us, to share knowledge. But most importantly, join us at Inclusive Africa Conference. If you want to meet all the young people with disabilities from across the continent, if you want to have fun in the disability space and tech, please join us in Nairobi on May 29th through the 31st in Nairobi, Kenya. And we're more than happy to meet
Enable.org.
No one is getting left behind.
And I was there last year, and I met some amazing people who I'm still in contact with. So thank you, Irene, again for being with us today. And I will say that we're also proud to help on some of that journey with, some new languages today. Azure is launching 13 new African languages today as part of Microsoft Translator, bringing their total to 125, which will power more speech-to-text technologies across those 55 countries that make up the continent. It's a small drop in the ocean again, but it's a really important step. Thank you, Irene, for being with us and your forever passionate commitment to accessibility.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks.
And to all of you, you're going to hear a lot today. Please take the time to breathe it in. Enjoy the summit and think about how you can build, imagine, and include holistically to power the future.
Thank you for participating. There's more to experience. Explore other content experiences in the top navigation bar. In animation, an L-shaped curve of rounded fabric squares undulates softly.